Now, the videos and transcripts released by the House Oversight Committee's depositions of former President Bill Clinton and former Secretary of State Hillary Clinton in its investigation into Jeffrey Epstein. During her more than 6 hours of testimony, the former First Lady told lawmakers she had no memory of ever meeting Epstein, as Republicans turned then to unfounded conspiracy theories.
You described Pizzagate as a baseless conspiracy theory, alleging you and others ran a child sex trafficking ring from a Washington pizzeria basement. Have you reviewed any 2025-2026 Epstein files that were released that you believe reference or relate to those specific 2016 claims regarding the Podesta emails, Comet Ping Pong Pizza used as code possibly?
I'm sorry,
You're asking her about whether she's reviewed emails in the Epstein files, which relate to the wacky Pizzagate scandal.
You could characterize it however you want. I just would like to know if she's familiar with any of them.
Pizzagate was totally made up. It was an outrageous allegation that ended up hurting a number of people, that caused a deranged young man to show up with his assault rifle and shoot up a local pizzeria. I can't believe you're even referencing it.
Do you think that Donald Trump should be deposed by this committee?
Absolutely. If I were running the committee or I were involved in this investigation, I would be looking for people who maybe had some prior conduct that might be relevant to either money or crimes. And yes, I think that it would be in keeping with the scope of the investigation of this committee to set up a deposition with President Trump. I know he's been deposed many, many, many times. He's taken the Fifth Amendment many, many hundreds of times. So I'm not saying you're going to get a lot of information. But given what's in the files and given past and prior conduct, he would be on my witness list.
So again, Joe and Mika, by traveling up to Chappaqua, this Republican panel, Republican-led panel, gave her the chance on camera to do that, to make the obvious point that you ought to be talking to the people who are all over the Epstein files.
Well, and this is what we have said on this show all along, that these Republicans are only making matters worse for the current president and the current first lady by calling a president who hasn't been in office for 25 years or a first lady who hasn't been in office in 25 years.
Who has nothing to do.
And unlike the other three people I mentioned, had absolutely nothing to do with Jeffrey Epstein at any point, had never met him.
But she had great advice that perhaps maybe they talk to the people who do have something to do with the Epstein files and actually get justice for the victims of Jeffrey Epstein and his, I don't know, teams of creepy men who deserve to answer some questions before that panel and perhaps before a judge.
The rich and powerful in Europe have been held to account. They're going to continue to be held to account. The rich and powerful in the Democratic Party or people that are connected to the Democratic Party, they are being held to account. Many are losing their jobs, their professorships, their positions. Right now, it's only the rich and powerful Republicans that have not been held to account, and in part because of this committee. They are covering up, just like the Justice Department is covering up, not releasing all the files, and this is again trying to help you.
Yeah.
This isn't going away, and it's not going away with your base. This is more self-inflicted harm. I don't know. We've been saying this now month after month after month, and you keep thinking you can cover it up. You can't cover it up. There's too much out there. Let's bring in right now the co-host of our 9 a.m. hour, staff writer at The Atlantic, Jonathan Lemire, also CEO of the Messina Group, Jim Messina. He served as White House Deputy Chief of Staff to President Obama and ran his 2012 re-election campaign and has a snazzy article in the New York Times today talking about how Democrats can win in 2028. Jonathan Lemire, this is sort of potpourri. I mean, You've written about what's going on in Iran. Hard, though, to pass up a quick discussion of just how stupid this Republican committee was for stirring up the waters again,
setting the precedent,
and giving Hillary Clinton the microphone to say the very thing she said.
Yeah, you and I have been discussing this for weeks. I mean, they basically put the ball in the tee, and Secretary Clinton hit it over the fence. It couldn't have been an easier swing for her. When she's got tremendous experience doing this. We all remember the Benghazi hearings where she sat there for the better part of a day dealing with Republicans and some questions that were downright inane. So she's got plenty of practice. And this allowed her to pivot exactly as we heard her do, both in this new video. She also did so in the news conference she held outside afterwards with reporters there in Chappaqua, where she's like, basically, hey, you've got the wrong first lady. You know, you've got the wrong presidential couple here. Why don't you? I had nothing to do with Jeffrey Epstein. And let's be honest, her husband, who came in the next day, President Clinton, did have some questions he had to answer. I think most Democrats acknowledge that that's fair. But still, it is the current occupants of the White House, President Trump and First Lady Melania Trump, who had far more extensive connections with the Epstein, with Jeffrey Epstein, are in photographs. We've all seen them. And Joe and Mika, this is something where there were some even in the president's orbit who were leery about this because it opens the door potentially for Trump to be called, maybe when the Democrats, if they're to take the House, and again, every time, whether it's Trump's Department of Justice or Republicans in Congress try to turn the page, either to bury the Epstein matter or to try to shift focus back on the Democrats, every single time it has backfired.